Hey, people of the good life. So I had some problems with my Wi-Fi, a few minutes too late, but here I am for the next Biz-Talk. So it's about an amazing coach that I really miss because something more than a year ago he passed away. That's the name is Bob Proctor. A lot of people know about this guy. It was an amazing coach and someone that improved the life of many people. So Bob Proctor, um, I was the most favorite thing of Bob Proctor was working with the law, the 11 Forgotten Laws. It was a whole series, and because he passed away on February the 4th, 1 year ago. So I'm going to dedicate this to him. Okay, so let's go into the topic. So let me see. Okay. So the 11 Forgotten Laws is a complete series, yes, of different laws. The law of attraction, the law of abundance, the law of, what is it, forgiving. So there are a lot of laws, but it starts with the law. And it doesn't have to do with any religion. Yeah, so it's about God, but in your own religion. Yeah, so he talks about God, but it's in your own religion. So the first thing is that he says, okay, while God is working in our lives, so he's around us every day, right? So, but still, millions are affected by unemployment, with poverty and what they want, but they don't get. Yes, so and that's why is that? Don't we understand the Bible or the specific religion that you are in? So why is it that so many people are unemployed and they suffer from poverty, they struggle in life, and they want everything, but they don't get everything, and they are praying and praying and praying. So why is that? So so people think often that God is somewhere out there, so very far away, but He's working in our lives and he's close as us as the breath that we take. Yeah, so the air that we breathe, so close is God for us, but we think it's far away because we don't see the results immediately, right? So and it's all about mental discipline. So and that's what I really like. So it's all about the thinking, how we think and how we what we do with what we think. Yes, so the thinking is very important. So we should be aware that thinking is not taking that we take care of our thinking, and the thinking is not taking not enough care of us. It doesn't use us. Yes, that's very important. So when the thinking uses us, we are lost, and that's what is happening with a lot of people. Yes, that's why there is poverty. That's why there is unemployment. That's why people don't get what they want. Yes, it's all about the thinking, the mindset. Yes, and men's problems are completely mental in nature. They have no existence about outside ourselves. So how should you see that? So our thinking determines what we get in life. Yes. So and we see problems as outside experiences. It happens to us, while there's a lot of happening inside. So what we have inside is determining what happens in our life. Yeah. So that could be positive and could be negative. But for most people, it's negative. It's what we think determines what we have in life. Okay, so another problem is we cannot picture the thoughts of poverty and struggling and doubt and fear, and we expect positive results. That's impossible. So our mind is programmed to we can only do one thing. Yes, that's we can think positive or we can think negative. There's no in between. We cannot think positive and negative at the same time. So everything that's negative, we can transfer it to something that's positive. So, but you need to practice that. So, and the Bible or any other religion talks about that. And that's what we should study. We should study the laws of the universe. Yes, the laws. So the law in this case is talking about God or whatever religion you are in, but that's the law. Yes. So what's also important, we are here to create because God created us to create. So we should create a better world for ourselves and then for everyone that comes in contact with us. So that's also a mission. Yes. So when you're not creating, you are suffering. Yes. When you're not creating, you probably live in poverty. Yes. So we are created to create. So and another point is. When we work with the law, according to the laws of the universe, thinking positive, transforming everything that's negative to positive, that's also important. So you should be aware of it. Yes. So it's difficult. I myself, I also have problems with it, but I'm aware of it. So when I think negative, I try to transform it to something positive. So that's very important that you do that. Okay, so when you work according to the law, to the laws of the universe, yeah, your whole life begins to move in harmony with God's laws. Yeah, the law of attraction, the law of abundance, the law of vibration. You attract the right people, you attract the right opportunity, the right circumstances. So everything goes into a certain flow, positive flow. Yeah. And let me see if I forget something. Yeah, that's also important if we fail to discover and deliver who we really are. In the end, it will be as if we have done nothing. So when you are on your bed dying, you will remember what have you done with your whole life, and that's probably nothing for a lot of people. Yeah, then I'm talking about spending a lot of hours in Netflix, uh, too much time on social media as a consumer, not as a producer, and those kind of things. So you are not really improving your life, and you are doing nothing for the community, nothing for other people, and especially also nothing for yourself. And that's why you struggle. That's why you have poverty. That's why there's unemployment. So that's very important. So let me make the screen a little bit bigger. So So it's 8 points. So um, while God is working in our lives, still millions are affected by unemployment, poverty, and want, and that's important to stick to this point, because why is that? Because the laws are perfectly. It's like the law of gravity. So when we have something and we we let it go, it drops. Yes, that's the law of gravity. So the laws of God or the universe are all the same, like the law of gravity. Yes, it's impossible to break the law of the laws of the universe. So and God working in our lives. So God is not far away; He's as close as the breath we breathe. And mental discipline, that's very important. That's why a lot of people struggle. They don't have the mental discipline, and that's why you should transform everything that's negative to something that's positive. Yeah, so the thinking faculty that determines where you are in life. And all problems are mental in nature. There's nothing outside our body, outside our mind. Yeah, so when there's something happening outside, it's how you deal with it mentally. So that's important. And we cannot picture thoughts of poverty, failure, disease, doubt, fear, and expect positive results. Yeah, to enjoy wealth, success, and health. That's impossible. So when we have a lot of stress, it's not positive. So you cannot expect positive results when you have a lot of stress. Yes, and stress finally ends up with all kinds of diseases in your body. Okay, and we are here to create a better world for ourselves and then for everyone we come in contact with. So you should work on yourself first. So when you cannot help yourself, you cannot help others. That's very important. So when you know how to work with the law, your whole life begins to transform in harmony with God's laws, with the laws of the universe. And if we fail to discover and deliver who we really are, in the end, it will be as if we have done nothing. So, and that's a horrible experience when you are on your bed and looking back at your life, and you are dying, and you have done nothing. That's a horrible experience, right? So, a lot of people don't know who they really are. They don't know what their purpose is. They don't know what to do with their lives, and they just take life how it is. Yeah. So, but we are here for a purpose, and you can ask almost anyone on the street what their purpose is, and they don't know the answer. Yeah. So, and that's very important to think about the purpose. What is your purpose in life? So, there are exercises for that, and we can help you with Escape Your Past Now to discover your purpose. And when you have clear what your purpose is, it's easier to move in a positive direction. Yes, okay. So you can always escape your past now, and you can also post some comments or likes in the Facebook group where I am. There's also a YouTube channel that I will share everything. And I hope to see you next time. And hopefully this brought some value for you. Next time, there's another law that we are going to cover. This is the law in common. Yes, but all the other laws will be covered next time. So next week, there's another law. And there are 11 laws. Yeah, 11 forgotten laws. Okay, see you next time. Bye-bye.